This is one of the new colors. And again, like I said, this has an area where it might have caught onto the stencil, but since we added that little tiny area in there where it connects right there, it's not going to catch on your blending tool, which I love. That is super nice because any stencil that catches on your blending tool is just difficult to use.
Hey!
Okay, so just quickly blending this. Again, super easy to blend together. If you want to, what I really like about my inks is we're gonna leave this side, let's blend it out into white, right? So all you have to do, just add less pressure, don't go back into your ink pad, less pressure, and you're back to white, right? So that's really cool. You can fade it off into the distance. A lot of people say, hey, my blending tool is giving me harsh marks. They've created like blending tools with domes now. You don't really need that. If you have an ink that actually blends, you can go right back into that white, which is really nice. There's no harsh lines there. Sometimes you're picking up too much ink too, so maybe get rid of some ink before you go onto your surface. It all depends on how heavy-handed you are, how light-handed you are, but don't be afraid to go in there with your ink. Like, you're gonna get a nice, bold, vibrant color. And what I like about my cardstock too is it takes your ink. It doesn't like resist it. You're not gonna get fingerprints when you're blending because it's gonna actually dry into there. It's gonna give you that really awesome look and that bold color, which I love. So, what's cool, I'm gonna go in here, clean off this stencil quick. Just some water, and then let's go in here. So here's how we stenciled it, right? So that's the design, or is that? I don't know. Yeah, I think that's how it was lined up. I'm not quite sure, but what you're gonna wanna do is flip it, move it so that it's the opposite direction, and then all of those other leaves will fit right in between there. Right, so I love shifting stencils. If you want a more full background, just go in with the same color. If you want more variation in there, let's add a different color. Let's throw in some Psych. Psych, right? So much fun.
That's a great name.
Thanks.
I used to say that all the time in high school.
That's our word.
Right?
Psych.
It's a good
I
one.
love reminiscing about the old days.
I said, oh, and he did psych. I said, oh, that's
I just have so much fun naming them, right? Just whatever it reminds you of. I just have fun like telling stories through the inks and naming them kind of fun names. So again,
that's pretty.
right back into that white, so you get that really cool background. So use your stencils. I always get questions about like, oh, does this stencil work with this? Try it. Because all you're wasting is a piece of cardstock. Plenty more of this. We'll keep selling it for you, right? But you know, you have another side of your cardstock. So if you don't like what you've done, just keep going with it. Now I want to show something else that's kind of cool with my inks that I was actually just talking to Kathy, our product manager, about. It's like something that's crazy about my ink is she said that she'll take, you know, greens and blues and mix them together to create a cool tone background, or reds and oranges to create a warm tone background. And she was like, what's weird about what you do is you take all different colors and you'll do stuff like this. Or, I don't know where the other background is, but I mix together all these different colors that aren't supposed to work together, but they work. With these inks, for some reason, they work. They don't create a muddy color, they don't create something gross. Now we'll see as the line progresses, as we keep adding more colors, we'll see if we can create some gross mud. But right now, you can't really create a super gross color. And if you do, if you're not liking your project, always toss it. But here's the thing, this morning, what was I blending with? I was blending with, let's do some, where did
So
it
you
go?
don't have to be respectful of it's respectful of your
Right?
color families.
Because I'm not respective of the color family, I'm not respective of the color wheel, and I'm like, I don't want to teach the color wheel either, right? So I don't want to get that wrong, I'm not about to teach that. So, what's cool about this is you're able to go in, let's go in with a little bit of bee sting.
Yeah, she's off.
Then, so let's go in with a color that's going to blend with bee sting. Let's go in with Clear Skies. Let's do some of this. So what's cool about this one is going to blend, right? So color theory, a little color theory lesson with Simon, the only color theory that I actually know, right? So red and blue will make purple, so that's a beautiful blend right there. No effort, it just created that beautiful blend. You don't have to go back and forth between colors, which is what I love. And then the cool part is, look, this is Psych, this is a green. So if you mix green with red, you're usually gonna get brown. Right? This gross, nasty, dark brown. Tim might like it. I don't know. I'm not too sure of it. Right? But look, you go in here, you get this kind of yellowy color. Now, it definitely is kind of a brown tone, but I don't think it's a bad brown tone. Right? So adding a little bit of that, it kind of tones down your color a little bit. Let's go in with, let's do an actual green. So this was a more yellow green. So yellow and red are gonna mix. But let's go in with Overzealous. So this one's more of an actual green.
Yeah.
So let's go in with Overzealous and do some blending here. Right, so look, there's brown, but it mixed, it blended. So it creates that cool color. You don't have to be irrespective of the color wheel with these inks, which is what I love, because I'm not gonna teach that. I don't wanna learn that. And so this is really fun because you're able to blend those colors together, use whatever colors you want, throw any colors together and try things out, which is what I love. I always encourage that, like, create what you want. Don't ask me what colors work, because I don't know. I use all of them together, right? I mix them and I blend them, and sometimes they create a cool background, and sometimes they don't. But like even up there, I use Psych, Tropical Tango, Bee Sting, Pound Me, and Rosy Cheeks all together. I don't know, are those supposed to work together? But it did, right? So, and then what's cool about this is we have this blend now. That creates a beautiful blend, but we can go in and add some water if we want to, and that's gonna react with the inks and kind of bleach them out. So on each ink pad, we have that lighter color on there with that kind of paint splotch in the background, and also the darker color that it's supposed to be. The sales team was originally like, Simon, don't do that. That's gonna confuse everybody. But it's like, no, you really do get two different colors in the ink pad, depending on whether you spray it with water or you leave it, which is what I really like. So let's go in and let's do, is there anything you guys wanna see in particular?
Whatever you want to do.
Awesome. So
I
let's
like
just keep
bright
going.
colors, but
You like
so
bright
do you.
colors?
I like bright.
Oh, I
colors.
love bright colors.
I
right?
know.
Right?
That's probably why I love your stuff.
So let's
Oh,
see.
can you do something with
You want me
that?
to do something with this? Awesome. Let's do it. So, let's do, what should I do? Okay, let's do a blended background and let's lift up color with this.
Okay.
Oh,
Which is
fun.
really
Okay.
fun, right? So, I've done this so often. Everybody's probably like sick of this technique, but it is so much fun and it's just as magical every time, right? So, like the first time you see embossing, you're like, whoa, this technique has the same effect. So, we're gonna add a little bit of Psych into there. Now here you can see me kind of taking a little bit more time to blend earlier. Now I'm just throwing down some color because when you add the other colors over top of it, it's gonna all blend together really nicely. And also thanks for everything you've been doing with the line. It's really awesome to see.
Oh, yay. It's fun.
Thank you so much. So I'm just gonna go in here with Clear Skies, blend that together. You get a really beautiful green in between there. So these, I always explain them because they're transparent inks. So what's gonna happen is they're gonna blend together and create a new color in between. So if you do like, let's say I put another color on top of this one, then you might get a gross color. But if you're just blending them and touching them, you're gonna get kind of beautiful colors pretty much every single time, which is what I like.
And we don't call it gross, we call it grunge.
Grunge, right?
It's not gross. We will
It's
never
not
admit
gross,
that.
but
It's kind of gross.
So then I'll go in with, let's go in with some Triple Berry. Right, so I'm breaking all the rules because Triple Berry, guess what that's supposed
It's
to
right
make?
there.
Thank you very
You're
much.
welcome.
That's supposed to make, when you mix it with a green, it's supposed to make some nice browns.
Because it's a purpley base.
Does
right?
it create a brown?
Ooh.
Maybe, but it blends.
That's pretty. I love
Yeah,
that
it just
color.
creates a beautiful color there. So I love these inks because of that. I got them back and I was pleasantly surprised at how well they blended. In fact, last year, right before we went to Creativation, I was like, let's make a change. So we reformulated the whole thing right before they went into production because I wanted them to blend even better and make sure that they stamped just as well. So I'll share stamping in just a second too. But let's go in here with some Triple Berry. Right, so look how much that one's overlapping, but I like the color in there. Awesome, so let's
Yeah,
go
it
into
creates a pretty
there.
variation.
It just, yeah, it makes it more variegated. Instead of having just 3 colors in your background, then you have a ton. I recommend when people are blending to use like 3 or 4. If you use every color in the line, it'll look cool, but it might be a little overwhelming because this creates kind of the same shades and tones, just different variations of it. And then let's go in with some Bee Sting. And let's finish this off. And look, that's green and red, but it's gonna create a cool color in between there.
Oh, I love that already. I'm getting all excited. I love the braids.
They are just like
They're beautiful. I like that
Color
we're seeing
bomb.
this in action.
Yeah, see, I like the bright colors, but they're not like too bright. Like they're not like overwhelming.
No, they're
just
really
beautiful
pretty.
bright, which is what I like.
They make me feel like I can see well. Like my vision's not as
Yeah,
bad
I know,
anymore.
right?
I'm like, oh, I can see colors again.
So,
Oh wow.
okay, so there's that background. You can see we didn't take a ton of time to blend, so if there is harsh marks and you're just leaving the background as blended, you can always go back in with the colors and kind of go to fix some of those areas, or you can take a little bit more time to do it. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do some watercoloring, so it's not going to matter in the end. This is just a color wash here. So let's do this. Let's protect some of the ink pads there. So I'm just going to spray down a bunch of water. Now the more you spray, the more your background is going to move and blend and kind of create less of the actual design. The less you spray it, the more of the design you're going to get. So it's always kind of a toss up here. Now you want to be able to see little dots. If you see like huge droplets on your thing, it's not going to work. Then you're just going to get puddles. If you see all these little tiny drops, you're good to go, right? So it's hard to see on there, but they're tiny little drops. Let's hold it up for your phones there.
There you go. Okay.
So little tiny droplets, right? And I find too, instead of spraying it like this, go like this. Because that's gonna hit the spray on the side. You might have to spray more, but it's gonna give you less blobs as well. Okay, so let's go here.
Do you brayer it then? No.
I don't, I just use my fingers. I just lightly press, yep. You could totally go in with a brayer, but all you have to do is you don't even have to put pressure on this, you just have to let every area of the card touch it.
Do you have to keep it down for a little bit? Oh, look at that!
I don't know. You know, I just tend to keep it down for that much time, like as much as you're pressing it down. But then as it keeps going, it'll keep bleaching into the cardstock and keep interacting and lifting off that color. So isn't that cool?
Can I bring it a little closer? Sorry.
They're like so reactive, but just perfectly.
Yeah, right? It's the perfect formulation. I don't know how they do it.
It looks 3D.
Do you see it on yours?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like crazy.
And the cool part too is last year we had a ton of questions. It's like everybody goes, well, it's another ink. We've got a million inks. We don't need another ink. But the cool part about this is it's not another ink that's been manufactured by the same person with the same formulation, just rebranded. It's a whole new formulation of inks, which is really cool. We went in with the chemist, we told him exactly what we wanted, we got a bunch of different samples back, and we chose which one that we liked the best. And this one was definitely the coolest for what I wanted to do. It worked, it stamps, it blends really beautifully, and it reacts. And so also, if you create a background like this, and you want it to stay, let's say it's like bleeding out a little bit, and you want it to stay put, go in with your heat blending tool and start drying it. Because the moment that that's set, it's not going to keep moving. Now it's not going to, like your inks aren't going to never move. If you want to seal this in with some distressed glaze, he has that glaze that's going to seal that. I don't seal cards because like if it's raining outside and your card is going through the mail, it's going to get wet anyway. But if you have, let's say our product manager made like a, she made something for her bathroom and everybody was splashing water with their hands. And so that's going to protect it from the front layer there. So if you want to do that, it'll seal in your surface. But with cards, I just tend to leave it as is, and it's not going to like bleed with your fingers, but it'll bleed with water if you add that down. So super fun, right? Look at that awesome background. I love that.
Even lightened up even more as you dried it. That's so cool.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks so much for stopping by.
Awesome powder on top of that.
Yeah, that would be cool too. Adding water on top. For sure. Some of Tim's new distress glazes too. Those are cool.
I'm in a Boston powder fanatic too. I got
Have you seen Tim's new ones?
So
Have you
it's
seen
really
Tim's
cool.
new one? Yeah, they're very cool.
And I missed the beginning, Simon. What kind of paper were you using? It's not watercolor paper, is it?
Oh no, it's not watercolor cardstock.
Okay.
It's my. Thanks for asking. This is my Stark White cardstock.
Okay.
It's in a 10-pack, and it is super thick cardstock. It's 110 pound, so it's gonna be really great for card bases, right? And so I put it in this pack, so you can cut it down like this, you can cut it down like this, you can cut it into card bases. Yep. You can do whatever you want. Or if they were like, well, do you want to cut it down and have just card bases? And I was like, well, I want them to be able to make interactive cards too, so you can cut it however you want it to create whatever you want. Or you could just leave it if you want to create a piece of art like this, which is what I really love. But it's super bright white. It takes the inks blending beautifully. It doesn't resist them, which is great. So you get the true color of the ink, but it also takes water, it takes paint, it takes Copics, it takes basically everything, which is super cool. It's
wonderful.
And it's super bright white too, which is what I love.
Very cool. Thank you.
Awesome. Very nice.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks so much.
I'll get this up a little later on YouTube. I don't like to do it live because
sometimes